10 years on this car. Never had that long. I built the car in a year and a half tops. I lost my way somewhere along the path. But in the course of doing the bodywork, I still got some stuff to do on this side. This side's done. I'm doing around the outside of the headlight here. I got the back area behind the lights too, because you do see that. And when I'm done with all of this little stuff here, I got to go around the whole body and look for spots I may have missed, and spots where like maybe there's like a little bit of a low spot, tight coat it, and block it all out and everything. It's what we call the, hey, that's got to be my wife. It's lunchtime, I think. So, yeah, and that's what we call the rough cut of the bodywork. And I'm going to cheap out and just, let me start that over again. What I'm going to do is, after all the rough cut of the bodywork is done, I'll pull it into the paint booth and I'll spray a guide coat on it. And I've been using 36 and 40 on it. And with the guide coat, I'll go over it with 80 grit. And then I'll bring it in as tight as I can. I'm just going to be, like I said, a cheap guy. I'm going to buy a gallon or two of feather fill and load it up. It's like spraying liquid body filler. I don't want to spread the whole car again. My elbow is starting to bother me, my wrists and my shoulders. Because a lot of this you can't power stand. You got to use a hand block or using your fingers in here and stuff. And it's just like, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, back to what I really originally wanted to start this with is in the course of it, but I got a little bit of body filler left. I've been putting it in here and cleaning up the grill surround. And I noticed my opening here is a lot wider than it is over here. So I just made up a template here I cut out. And I whizzed it around and stuck it in here and I made a pencil mark. So it's not too shabby. We got to just take out maybe right here at its thickest, a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go in here with my little pneumatic saw and cut that all out and shave the edges so it, I love you very much, fiberglass body, ooh. You know, so that's it. That's the only real screw up I think I've got cut and stuff. So yeah, let's cut that out and get back to finishing up the pushing the block back and forth north, south, east, and west, and get this thing in the paint booth. Okay, gang, we're in the paint booth. You know what that means, right? We're going to prime this thing today. So, bought myself 2 gallons, that's this many, of what they call feather fill or high build polyester primer. It takes the same catalyst that you could use in the fiberglass resin. What I'm going to do is wrong. I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of guys. I left this body in 36 and 40 grit scratches. And let's be honest, I'm tired of pushing the sanding block back and forth. I've got tendonitis in my elbow. My shoulder's all tore up. I've got a knee that's killing me from getting up and down, working upside down in spots like this here at the bottom of the taillight surround. So, yeah, I'd like to just move on and get done. I did do this same trick on the Roswell rod when I built that. Technically what you should do is, you rough your body work out, you get it down with like 40 grit, and you follow it up and you can finish it. In today's world, body shops want you to finish the filler work in like 180, 220 or something like that. I'm doing this old school. You know, that's how it is. And there's a couple spots where you might feel a little bit of, it feels good, but there's a little bit of a, and the high build prime will take care of that when you block sand it. When you'll see later on, and maybe this episode or future episodes, like when I block sand someplace that's like this, it's curved this way, and then it's curved this way, so it's a complex curve, I'll take a paint stick and I'll wrap my sandpaper around it, and I'll hold it tight so it has that bend and arch to it, so I can get in here and sand it like this, and it's tough getting some of this stuff straight on these crazy curves and the way this thing is built. I don't want to go into like a long speech and everything here. I'm just trying to give you a good rundown. What I'll do is I'll pop the camera. I'll give you a little walk around to see what I got going on with the finished filler and stuff. A couple spots like even right here the fiberglass shows through. These spots pop up. One here, there's one here. That's okay. And then we'll prime it and see what we got and keep moving on. holding the camera like, you know, the best I could. I hope you guys didn't need like motion sickness medicine when I did that. So let's go mix up some of that polyester primer and start shooting this bad boy. Myself doing the priming on this to show you guys close-ups and all that other good stuff and whatnot. And for some reason, technical difficulties, it's gone. I went to look at the camera, it showed me a screen with a question mark. It's like retrieve data, pushing buttons. Me and technology. I watch Star Trek, I can't live it. So I lost all that. But we're in primer. My best Vano light. So there are spots where I just took the spray gun and I was like, shh, die, ah! Because there's pinholes everywhere. I have gallons and gallons of body filler. It's hard to avoid. And there are still a couple that show. I'm looking at some here, and there's a couple up in here. So I may just take my razor blades and spot putty, and I'm going to go around and take care of as many that I can see now. And the block sanding now is going to find all this stuff, because we're going to spray a guide coat on this after I find those spots. I do all my pinhole hunting, and then what did I just say? Yeah, I'm going to go around the car and take care of all the pinholes, and then I'll guide coat it, and then we're going to have to block this thing out, and that's going to take forever. But that'll be the first time we block it out. The first time, because there's many, many, many more times after that. So yeah, we'll get this thing all set up, get it ready to be blocked out, and then, you know, we'll obviously block it out. One coat of the feather fill is not really enough to bury all the sins that I left, and it's kind of dry in some spots, like I was just looking right here. But it's enough to get in between, inside those sanding scratches of like the 36 and 40, and it's a kind of a helper for the trying to get this thing tightened up with blocking it out. I'll block it out now with maybe 100 grit, 180. I'll start with 180 and I'll see how it works and how it feels as I'm doing it. And then, you know, 100 grit should be good. 80 grit is going to be the last resort. But I think, you know, 100, 180 should be in the right neck of the woods. So all that being said, let me get my spot putty, go around this thing and fill in the pinholes, and we'll go to the paint shop. We'll look for some old paint I got laying around. I usually keep a dark and a light can of things, and when I have a little bit of paint left over, I dump it in there and I use that as my guide coat. So that's it. Let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright guys, I decided that I'm not going to go around and fill all those pinholes with my spot putty. There's too many. They're everywhere. So, We're just going to go for a guide coat and wet sand. Not a wet sand, a dry sand. But we're going to guide coat it and block it out, sand it. And I'm figuring I still got another gallon here of feather fill. I'm going to have to pass it over again, so maybe that'll catch those the next time around. So I'll wait till there's fewer of them, you know, weed them out, and then I'll go after what's left. Until then, this is the gallon, a gallon. I'm cheap and I keep saving it, of, I don't know what color red this is, but you can tell it's an old can. She's got surface rust and everything on it. So let's crack this bad boy open and see what we got. And you know what's sad is we're not going to use a lot of this paint, but you know, I keep saving it, and hey, you know, comes in handy for stuff like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of looks like a color of like a car from the mid to early 50s. You know, like some kind of, it would be this in beige on like an old like DeSoto or a Chrysler DeSoto or like a Buick something or other Roadmaster, doesn't it? I don't know. It's not, you know, the prettiest color in the world to me. So we're going to burn it up doing the guide coat. So let me get my stuff going, and we'll mix this up. Throw it in the paint gun, and we'll get in there and and you can see how thrifty I am. I save all my old coffee cups and junk. And actually, if you leave them upside down, they do end up being somewhat clean in here. I would have no problem shoving this into my Keurig and making a cup of coffee with it. So, no real rocket science here, though I try and keep the spills all in the same spot. We'll dump some of this on in there. Yeah, it should be probably pretty good. Now this is base coat paint. I'm not going to waste my expensive $100 gallon thinner on it. I'm going to use this cheap, you know, $19, $22 gallon crap you get from the home improvement store. Lacquer thinner. It's going to evaporate quick, and it will achieve what we want to do. And I'll use an old paint stick, because again, thrifty. And we'll mix this up, we'll see what we get, what the viscosity or consistency is like. Because we don't want it so thick we're painting the car, we just want to dust it. So when we block sand this thing out, any low spots are going to turn up this disgusting red color. This house appliance red, kind of icky, like I said, kind of 55 Chevy salmon pink looking color. Although that pink and coral on the 55 Chevys wasn't that bad, but it was totally a sign of the mid-50s. I do that real old school. I hold this up and I go 1, 2, 3, and I count. And I wait. It should, right about 6 or 7, it'll get to it with it just starts doing the drips. I learned that from an old school guy when we used to mix lacquer paint in the body shops. Way back in the 1900s. But that is, give or take, the right viscosity to shoot out of a gun. So a little bit thinner than that, I'm good with it. And that's fine right there. People don't understand when I tell them the drip trick, but I'm like, hey, I've done it for so many years, you know, 40 plus years. That's how it is. All right, and we're going to use this gun. My respirator out, and even though it's just a guide coat, I'm still going to use a filter because we don't want any of that crap. If there's anything goofy in here, getting in the gun and clogging it. And I'm betting that's probably way more paint than I actually need, but I'd rather not come back out and mix again. All right, I'll see you guys in the paint booth. so we're going to go ahead and give this the old ugly red spray. I don't want the camera in here for the whole process because I think maybe that's what's goofing it up. So I'll bring the camera in, I'll do the side, and I'll show you like how the coverage should be. You know, I'm going to lay it on kind of thick because I want everything to show up, but I'll do it like light, and that should be good for like an average everyday car or whatever you happen to be doing. But then they do have stuff called dry guide coat. It's this powder. Now I'm gonna go get it and I'll show it to you. In editing, I'll be like, bing, bang, boom, and I'll be right back. So give me a sec. All right, I guess like magic, I'm back. So let me find a home for the spray gun. So this is a dried coat. It's a 3M product. You know, this particular thing is, and it's powder in here, and you can see the little star on there. That's the powder, and you can see on there the stuff. And so all you do is you take this, and you can just kind of do this, and there you go. And you go back and you sand it, and then the powder is left behind. So it's good. I use it quite a bit, like doing in auto body shops, regular auto body work, because they don't want you spraying a spray gun in the body shop section, not the paint shop section, keep in mind. So you use this, you rub it on, boom, you go right to it and you keep going. But if I'm not mistaken, this is like 40, 50 bucks, I think, 30 bucks. My paint gun, that's for free. Man, I gotta do like a little disclaimer. I don't know what keeps happening, but I had to change memory cards in the camera because it kept like goofing up. I had primed this whole thing and I filmed it, and I go back and they're gone. They weren't even there. And I know I turned the camera on and I turned it off. It makes a little bloop, bloop, bloop kind of a noise. And I'm just trying to show you guys the guide coat thing here, and the camera's acting all funny, so I stopped and took a minute, ran out, bought some more memory cards and stuff, so I just shoved another one in there. So I'm sorry, some of the scenes on the other memory card, I'm talking like this and that. And then all of a sudden I'm not there, or it just cuts me off, and I'm like, man, I call dropped myself. So let's get back to it. I did the dry guide coat. Let me show you what it looks like after I wiped it down. Okay, so for you guys not familiar with guide coat and stuff, you can see all the scratches, and what you want to do is keep sanding it until they disappear and it's all that nice smooth surface. And just a little bit below, you can see the pinholes. See those right there? Let me see, there we go, that's good. Look at that pimple right there. And down in here you can see them. I'll drop it down, but you can see the imperfections. So, that's what you're looking to sand out. That's why we use guide coat. Okay, so now, bringing the train back around to the station where we started, let me go ahead and guide coat this. I'm going to put this on a wide fan, just so I can blow large areas and get done quick. I'm going to turn the exhaust fan on, and like I said, I'll zoom in and give you a good bird's eye view of the coverage that you should use for like normal everyday stuff, and I'm going to go a little bit heavier with that. Although it may just shoot heavy, I don't know. Let's just do it and get it over. Alright guys, if you can tell, I got the camera zoomed in kind of close, but that's a pretty good coverage, even for what I'm doing. I'm going to go maybe a little thicker than that. And the camera won't adjust, so. Alright, well, I hope you can tell about the coverage that I have going on. It's light, it's good enough to show you what you got going on, normal auto body, do it at home and yourself, or regular body shop kind of coverage. Like I said, I'm going to thicken it up, because I want every tiny little thing to show up. It's just going to be easier for me, you know, me and my bifocal glasses. So I'll set the camera up, you'll watch me hit the sides, and then I'll kill the camera and just finish knocking it out. And you can see that's pretty heavy. It's almost like I'm going to paint the car, and that's the first coat of paint I'm putting on. But I didn't miss a square inch, and whenever I stand, no matter what imperfection stays behind, I'm going to see it right away. It's literally a red flag. So let me go ahead and finish this out, and I'll give you a quick little visual of the car shot and its guide coat, and then we move on to the next step. Alright, as you guys can see, that's pretty red. So that's the thick guide coat, like I said, the way I like it. And every one of these things, I know I've got it covered. So if there's a boo-boo or an imperfection, it's going to show up like an eyesore. And that's exactly what we want. So, man, it's a Friday, so I got 2 more days and it's Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus, Kwanzaa, whatever you guys do. By the time this gets on YouTube, it'll be over with. But Merry Christmas and stuff like that anyway. Happy New Year. Yeah, hopefully it's up before New Year's. But here we are. The next thing I gotta do is start block sanding it out and looking for all those imperfections and stuff. So next time I see you, we'll be pushing a block.